we're just ready to get going in a minute. Just coming up to the hour. Oh, that was a big drop. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining this London session. I'm looking at Usdjpy, which is paying out at 85%. It's in a downward momentum. There's no red flag news we need to be worried about today, concerned about. However, on Friday, it's coming up to non-farm payroll, which is the biggest monthly Forex event. So I tend to find the market tightens up as it gets closer to the Friday. The currency strength meter shows us that US dollar gained a bit in strength since I came on to set up about 10:30. I've taken one trade at 42 minutes past the hour, which was successful. I took it against the trend, just as a test trade. At that point, the US dollar was 1 bar, Japanese yen was 2. You can see the Japanese yen has increased in strength, but so has the dollar slightly at that time. However, since then, it has just done this big drop. Now, I was expecting it to go up to back up to 204, and then look at it for a put, because this was a daily line. However, it stalled out. This was the reverse trade that I took. It stalled out at that midline on the Bollinger Bands and then did a big drop down. So we ask ourselves now, where is it going? We've got that level down there at 096, which was another previous daily. And we've got that level there at 114. You can see it's down in the oversold area. We have got currency strength meter telling us to sell puts not calls, buys. 53 to 81, gave a put at 186. It says 8 minutes ago. I don't know why that, maybe it was still glitching. I'm not sure, because I didn't get up in the, sometimes I get up even if I'm not doing a live session, but I didn't, well, I decided not to. Got a put score on the dollar. It is in the overbought area, but on the relative strength index, it's still along the middle, which tells us that it's not strongly pushing up quite enough. It's just stalling a little bit in this area, even though the stochastic has come into the overbought area. And so it's failing to get any more strength, and it's dropping as we come to the hour. On the dollar against the Japanese yen, it gave us that put right down here. It's right down in that oversold area. Let's come out to the hourly. Sorry, I meant to mention as well, we've also got that 200 moving average pushing price down, telling us to take puts if we're trading with the trend, which is always the safest way to trade. And on the hourly, here is our downward momentum. and we're right down at that 094 level where it was before on the 19th of July. So let's come to our 15 minute. I'll just pop this on because I don't want to pop the lock on. I don't want to be moving anything accidentally. So still staying hidden there, meaning directional trend is down. You can see lower highs, lower highs. And if you drew a trend line, very clearly it would show you. I've put a 62 moving average, which is a shorter length. It's nearest to 61.8 golden ratio fib. I put it on, it's a tighter moving average than the 200, just to show you that trend line today. And then on to the 5 minutes. I have just marked up this chart before coming on with my lines. So here we are on the 5 minute, which reflects the hourglass chart. I'm not sure if the hourglass is still glitching. So lower highs, a higher high there of that 250 quarter point. It's moved down. There's that big drop down, and on the hour, let's see what it gave us. If it gave us, let's see what this is doing here. So off the hour, it was at about 136, 129. This would be going against the trend if we took a call on the hourly candle. I don't quite know what CASHTRAP is telling us because it looks like it's glitching a bit, but we know that it's safer to take the puts. So I probably wouldn't have taken that even if it had given us a call on the hour, but price does tend to reverse. That's one of our guidelines that we follow. Unless price is on a mission to get somewhere. But usually it will reverse on the hour. I'm just trying to update hourglass, see if it improves today. The dollar's a call, and we'll check our currency strength meter. So now I've missed that hourly move. I'll wait for the 15 minute. Still 53 to 81. It was a put at 152. It has updated. It's a put score of 3, but as you, it's off that line there, 152. It's off that resistance line there, but you can see it's sitting. It's touched down in the Bollinger Bands. It's not a really very strong move because it's not up here. It's not up here on the Bollinger Bands. It gave us a put and it is bumping along that oversold area. So, and you can see it's wicking off it. It's at 137. So it has moved down, but the wicks tell the story. The previous candle was a longer wick and then it's still a wick. So it's kind of saying it's struggling to move down. Although if we had taken that at 152, it's that's my phone ringing. Ignore that. Go away. If we had taken it on the hour at 152, just about be in profit. So I did find on the trade I took, although I didn't take it at the 45 and I didn't take it at the 30, so I did break my rules slightly, but it was quite a good setup, and I didn't squeak it in. It was, you know, it cleared quite nicely, but similar to this, you know, except in the opposite direction. You can see it's just really stalling out. 141. So you would have had quite a precise entry. This is the thing about being a time-based trader, isn't it? You know, if you miss this move up at the level it tells you, and it depends, of course, that how many points difference there is on your broker price compared to your TradingView price, as your hourglass price as well, you know, that can make the difference between winning or losing where you're in these slightly tighter trades. So I find if I've missed my precision of my entry on the quarters, I leave it. I don't think, oh damn, I'm going to miss out, I'm going to get in, you know, and take an entry that's a few points further off. I try not to do that. And there it is back up at the 149. So, and this is the 5. So this is the new 5-minute candle. So what I'm looking for, this is good for us. So I want it to come back up. That's 194 up there. I don't know if it's going to come back up to that level. We'll have a look. But I want it to come up and then take a trade possibly on the 15-minute. If not, I'll wait for the half hour. And you can see there's that whole number down there. The 200 moving average is still pushing down strongly, coming down to that quarter point. There's a higher high and a higher high there and one there, and it's wicked off that quarter point. So it's done it again there. Come down, retest. How many pips did that move off? 15 pips on UJ. So UJ broke through the quarter point. This yellow is an hourly, came back up to touch the hourly. This is a daily line. So it's stalling off our daily line at, the white line is the daily line at on that 200 mark. It's already done a retest. It didn't get quite back up there, so it went back up to the quarter point, which it failed to break back above 3 times, and you can see the 200 moving average is pressing price down. So at the moment we can be fairly confident that price in our short-term timescales, when I've looked out longer-term timescale, maybe it is reversing now, but as far as we're concerned, it's still operating in this range. So failing to get above the 109.250, and now you can see that big drop, bearish candle. So I want it to come back up to 184 or that 200 level. And I've got a blue line of previous support, but only a 5-minute one, and then see if it will give us a put. So it needs to balance out that sell candle there. We know the currency strength is telling us to sell. It's back up at 151, coming up to the 10 past candle. However, we can see wicks. That blue candle is a buy candle. I just magnify it for you. So there are orders sitting in here. That's a doji candle, meaning indecision. Price tried to push up. This is the 62 moving average, which is a much tighter one, measuring previous 62 candles, not 200. And it's off that 5-minute line, but it's respected the 62. Big drop down, which took me by surprise a bit. Big candle down. There's our candle close. A wick trying to probe down, couldn't make it. Closed here, opened with the doji with a sell, but again couldn't push down, and it's a shorter push down. So the move down was weaker there on the hourly. Doji candle again, and then the 5 past, and this is now coming up to the 10 past. So it gave us that 148, 152. So round about here on the hour, it said sell, but you can see on the next 5 minutes. So depending on where you got in, you know, it's quite a tight move, and it's come back up to this 152 area. It's coming up here. So I don't take trades outside the quarters, Evan Cabral's market timing. So I want to see what it's going to do. If I mark this here, I'm looking now for the 15-minute trade. So I can see it's pushing up because you can see these wicks. They're probing, but they're going upwards, not downwards. But again, you can see there's very little volume there. So it's quite a late move off the hour. So it's moving. It gave us a sell, a put, but it's doing its reversal. We don't want to take that because the currency strength meter, let me just check it again. It's 2 to 4 bars on the Japanese yen. And on HourGlass, let's see what the 10 past candle says. That this is the bit we've been analysing. So it is moving up. That was that put score of 2, but it was only a 2, so we off the hour, so we wouldn't have taken it anyway. We want to put score of 4 or above. So it's slowly coming up. Our momentum indicators are halfway through, just dipped a bit there on the relative strength index, and that's because of these wicks. And the stochastic we want up into our overbought area. It did say B for buy there, it's saying buys all the way along, so I'm ignoring that, and that's good. Look, it's pushing up, back up to that hourly mark. So ideally I wanted it up at the 200. We're not going to get that, I don't think, but it needs to clear out that candle. If it could come back up this high. There was that strong push up, so it's left some imbalance here as well, which will be down to that 121 area, the top of that wick, because they're unfilled. It hasn't pushed. Oh no, it's come down there. 121. Sorry, it has done that. It has cleared that. But that is a wick. It's not proper orders. So I'm hoping it'll come back up and then want to come back down to in line with our currency strength meter. I don't know why that's saying 12 minutes though. So I'm not entirely trusting this at the moment. Where are we? 12 minutes past. Dollar is saying a call, so that's good for what we're thinking about doing at the moment. That's still got the 200 moving average in the Bollinger Bands up there. A put 2 minutes ago, so it looks like you have to just keep refreshing. I keep changing my time because it annoys me not to have it on the correct time, but then I have to keep having to do it. It's equally annoying. So still 53 to 81, so not a lot of movement in the pair. A put at 149, which was, there was that call at 144 8 minutes ago, and that's 3 minutes ago at the 10 past. So we're coming up, but if at 15 minutes past it hasn't reached that red line, I'll probably wait till the half past. But we'll see what the put score is. We are up at 171 on the broker, 167, so point difference of 4. Let me come back out of that. 170, so there's that push up. 185, 5-minute line at 193, and the daily at 199 or thereabouts, depending on how, you know, our little zones. 185, sorry, 194, and the 62 is at 185. 185, so 185, 199 is the zone. But I may not take this on the 15 minutes because I do believe it wants to push up a bit more, and I'd rather wait for the half hour because it's stronger. It's going to be stronger for us on that daily line to get a put off that. 14 minutes past, 167. put score of 3. Sorry, 149. The dollar says call. It isn't coming up to that overbought area. There's our 15-minute. 160, 162. There's our 173, that 170. So there's our 169. I just like it. I don't like that relative strength sat in the middle there. And I don't like it sat in the middle here. It's not 162. I've got that 162 line of resistance there. I'll put at 149. Just a little indecision, little. So I think it's safer to wait because of the rollover situation with the brokers. We're taking put scores or calls of 4 or more instead of 3 because we're only getting the 30% after the first rollover. So you can see it's just changing from blue to red and back again. I'll move that to the half hour just so we keep an eye on what we're looking at. Let me look on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, it's right up. It is up at that 62 moving average, which has crossed below the 200. So it should actually come down off that point at 169. And of course, just as I've said that, it's pushed up through, which equally says, you know, be cautious about the rollovers and the 15 and the 45. It's just wicking off it now, 171. It does say hidden there. So that's, although that's on the 1 minute, I need to check it on the 5. We haven't got our, this is our stochastic RSI, which Les was talking about the other day. We want that turning down. You see, like it did here, where the lines are nicely apart. They've crossed over, and that equals that move there. So this is along the top. We want it to be turning, and we want it to be looking like that, starting to look like that with a turn. So not a brilliant entry there to get in here because of this. This is how it's reflected in this blue and red line. And this line is our divergence. Divergence is in our favor for hidden bear, which was that move there. Although here, sorry, I've missed that. Yeah, sorry, beg your pardon. Hidden bear, meaning directional trend is still down. Directional trend is still down. So it's 3 minutes is showing it off the top of the candle close. So it's safer to wait for the half past. It is 187 now. 187. So it did push up. So we were sensible to not risk that trade on the 15 minutes at that level there. Pushing up. And it is coming up to our overbought area quite nicely. So as you can see, you can take these reversals. I took one here, 50, 42. I took one in that area here to there. But you're safer waiting for the puts when you see something like this and your currency strength meter. I don't know why it's not updating the minutes timer on there. It keeps making me want to refresh it, which is a bit annoying, but never mind. We can work up with all our things together. Teaches you how to do analysis. I do miss it if it's not working though, because you know, it's such a great system. So there you see, I've just refreshed it. This is just so it was a put score of 4, but price wanted to push up. Price is on a bit of a mission. Normally that should work, so it didn't. It's not getting that momentum down. We're just about to get just had it tap on the strength index and push down. So this is a put score of 4, but I don't want to take anything. I do stick to my rules now. I don't want to take anything outside the quarters. It's very tempting when you see that. It probably will work. I just feel more confident waiting for the quarters because they can carry on pushing up in between. Although we did have that, I know I'm an hour out, so I'm going to leave it because I can't be bothered to keep changing it down here. So we did have that put, but it was a very small move if you look at that wick, and the wicks moved up, so it still had some momentum in it to the upside. So it could be that it's transitioning and wanting to come up through that moving average. We don't know over what time that will take place. Probably not in a time scale that's going to affect us. Here is so if this does drop down, we get the reversal on the 25 pullback, and then a put on the half hour. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So if I come over and just see what the scanner is doing. While we've got a bit of time, see if there is one on the scanner. Ah, right at the top. So is there a 30-minute and a 15? UJ crab on the 15. Oh, okay. So the 15-minute, well, that looks a very weird scan. So I wouldn't. That's not very pretty. What's happened there? So it does show that it's bottomed out at the 091. So where we're looking at, that might be because we're getting. It might be we're getting weaker moves because it's completed an Elliott wave and it does want to turn. Let me see if this one's, there's a Gartley there. Again, that's weird, the way that's drawn. I'll go back to the hour, see if that comes up. There it is there. So that's showing it better on the hour. So we've got, it's not that big a scan, 64 pips. Normally I would do 80 or above. So these are smaller moves, smaller scan. So Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's completed that Elliott wave. So it's saying it's reversing at this point. But this is hourly, doesn't affect us so much on our trading. It did move 14 pips off. So again, it's not a very big scan, and normally I would wait 20 pips off the D point to confirm, to set the scan. So it's seems to be struggling a bit around this point. So when you are working with the scanner, normally you'd expect price to go up and retest the D point, and then you get in for your buy. But we can see price is at that 162 there. So I think that should really be the D point. Let's come back to what we're looking at. Let's have a look at the see what's happening on here. Sat in the middle at that 164 area. I'll just look at the chat. 2 to 4. HourGlass put. I mean, you can be taking these trades according to what we're talking about. You don't have to wait for me. It's 85%. I'm prepared to wait. I've taken one trade already. See how it's just failing to move in either direction at the moment. So it moved up on the 15. It did give that trade down there. I've got 5 minutes to go. This is the 25 past candle. Dollar is a call, which would be good for a pullback. Still got things in our favor, but you can see it's leveled out here. So that could be a sign it's once the, I mean, the currency strength hasn't moved. 2 calls on the dollar. The call on UJ less than a minute ago at 157. Call score only of 2. We wouldn't be taking that. It's not off a line of support or resistance. It's in the middle on our momentum, our strength indicators. It's just dropping down, actually. This is why it's 85%. Still 85. Down at 155 now. So it was off that 62 EMA at 11.15. It did move down nicely. So there was its high point at 187. We had 185. It has given us another lower high. You probably can't quite see that. It's not going to get back up to this area at the moment. But off this lower low, although I am on the 1 minute, it has given us a higher low there. But this is very small moves. So normally what happens on the 1 minute will radiate out. We have got the 62s crossed the 200. On the 3 minute, it's also pushing price down. I'd really like it up at 175. There's our midline. 161 is the midline on our candle close on the 3 minute. And back to the 5, got 3 minutes before the half hour. So if I look at, I don't always do this on this system. If I put a fib on there, it's come back up to the 50%. So normally we like it. The strongest moves, there is the daily at 61.8. And there's an hourly at that level there. I can't quite see where the 8, yes, at the 88, which is normally off the 88 as you get the longer moves. But it's only off that 50% at the moment. This is the 5 minute, which is everything we've just been talking about. It's just sort of stuck in the middle. Let me check the chat. Oh, well done, Andy. Took a put at 176 and cleared. Yes, well, that's what I mean. You just have to, you know, it depends on your trading style. You know, these moves are equally valid. Just if you like the quarters timing, you can follow that. You don't have to. So we have that strong candle up. It's cleared that out. We have that one down there. It's cleared that out, and it's on its way down. But I'm not sure it's up enough. It's still weak, so it is pressing down. It's just normally on the half hour, you see, I'd want to take a put, but where it's sitting at the moment and what it's doing along here, I think price is struggling, and I am thinking about that scan. You know, is it going to move up? Has it kind of finished what it's doing? come out to the 15-minute. So the 15-minute showed us a sell that it's pushing down in London, retraced back. It tried to probe up, it can't. The last 15-minute opened as a sell candle. So it's been moving down, open, down, reverse on the hour. It reversed on the hour on the 15-minute, and it's just about to finish its last. So, but it hasn't. It's not close. It's not an engulfing candle, but it is opening as a sell. HourGlass. Is it going to tell us anything? And on Trading View 152, I may have missed the move, but I'm not sure. It's yes, I probably would have. I don't want to take a put and mess things up. I'm going to have to. Not finding HourGlass brilliant this week, and I haven't been on Matty or Taylor's sessions to hear what they've got to say about it. Oh, it gave us a call at 151 off the half hour. Call score of 4. Can you see that relative strength index? It's not quite down as low, so I'm finding these, it probably will suddenly move. 150, it is a call score of 4, but it is against the trend. So where was the half hour? 147, 151. So it probably will suddenly move up. I was just thinking, shall I take a dollar trade just to see if it does what we want it to do? But I don't want to do that. So it could well move up and then turn on the half hour. There it goes. I just didn't like the look of that, but it is moving. And the reason I didn't like the look of it is because my relative strength index, and it hasn't been very strong moves. It's moving quite slowly. So let's see if it'll give us a push up against the trend for the 30-minute and then turn for us for a put, because it is a call score of 4. It does have to move in waves, as we know. That's just my preference. You may well have taken this one. That's equally fine. It's just a little bit more risky when you take the reversals. There it is. So I'd like to see it up at 183. I'd like to see it back up at this level for a put at 35. So I know I said I don't trade outside the quarters, but it could just be late turning. It's not always an exact science. I have seen it move a bit slowly. I didn't trade Tokyo, so I didn't get a feel for the day to open. And that's a winner, chicken dinner if you were in that one. So what happened here? 10 o'clock London, strong downward trend on the US dollar all the way to the other side of the Bollinger Bands, smacked off the midline, couldn't quite get down to the Bollinger Band, which is why we're seeing all that stalling out, but has now burst up to 172. In for a dollar. Yeah, I was tempted to, so I should be interested to hear what happens there. You should be absolutely fine on that one. You know, it's a calculated risk. It's not, it's just learn a system so that when your account size gets bigger, you're confident with what you're doing and why you're taking a trade, and you're taking what Les calls calculated risks. So
split the winnings with you.
Yeah. Can't get a beer. Hey, you can go out and at least sit outside.
A beer and 2 straws.
Yeah. So nice big strong candle up. It's now up at that 186. It's going to give us a new call out. So it's up at that level that I like. Japanese yen has weakened though. which explains all that stall out, wicking off that area. 12 seconds to go. I'm on the 5 minute. Not quite up as high, quite as I would like. It's just, where's my, having to keep refreshing. To put at 183, call score of 4. Let's try that. 193 on the broker. Overbought. The dollar is a put. 200 moving average in our favor. Currency strength in our favor. Put score of 5 now, but still pushing up. I'm on the 5 minutes, so it could come up to this. It's up at the 199, up at our daily line. Oh, don't see, I missed the rollover. 37.03. I can't roll over while I'm in profit, but I was in at 193. So it tapped up at that daily line. 36.39. I'm in for another 30 seconds, 15, 20 seconds. So there's the drop. There's the drop, 36.52. So this is what I mean, 37.01, right, so that cleared. So this is what I mean about being patient. It can appear a bit boring, but the purpose of it is to train yourself so that when your account size is bigger, and Les keeps bringing us home to us, that when we're putting on a 500, you see what it's done now? So that's why you have to be precise on the entry. And I was checking that rollover very closely. And we do think it might be in transition, and it had stalled out in the middle, and you know the moves was, you know, like UJ does give you those bigger candles, but they weren't that huge. But when you're up at the stage where we can just take one $500 trade a day, or not even that, but you have to keep your eye in with trading. You can't, I find you can't just go off for a month and not do any really, because you want to just keep the wheels oiled. It's like if you keep the car, your racing car parked in the garage the whole time, you know, it's not good for it. The engine needs to run. So when we're up at $500 order sizes, I'm very happy to wait. Now, I took a trade at 35 past, not the 30, but as I've explained in the analysis, there were very clear reasons for that. So in my head, it was part of that 30-minute, half-hour move. Price was just late doing that stall out. So let's just see where price is now. It's rejecting off that, or it's not rejecting necessarily, it's just coming up to that daily. We have got a higher low there. It could be, let's see what the hourly candle is telling us. The hourly candle opened as a buy, and it's just struggling at that daily line, but it was a buy candle. So you don't have to look at the scanner. I don't always look at the scanner. It does say hidden bear on the hourly, by the way, which means directional trend still down. So it's still wicking off this area, but we won't know for another 20 minutes where it's going to close. And once it's closed, it's now off that 5-minute support line. Once it's closed, that's it, permanently set in history in trading view. But until it closes on the hour, it can move and do what it likes. And let's look at the 15-minute. Again, a stall out. It was a failure to probe up on the 15-minute, and then that strong move up to touch the daily, which was what I was waiting for. And I said I wanted that stronger move up, and I was prepared to wait for it. And back on our 5-minute, wicking off that level. And on the 1 minute, now it does look like, it does say hidden bear there. Hidden bear on the 3 minute. No hidden bear on the 5. So it could be now that we're going to see these Bollinger Bands start to move up. They also, keep an eye on them, they also tell you what price is doing in terms of its momentum. So it could be that I'm not going to take another trade. I've done 2 on this session, one before I came on to at 85%, and then I put the compounded it. So that was times. Let me just get my calculator. We're not meant to talk money, but as it's just between us, this is why you want to be thinking about learning, because the more you press the button, your subconscious brain programs. I rinse and repeat exactly the same strategy. I was confident, calculated risk with the money I put on. You know, that money could be $10, $18.50, 185, 1800, etc., etc. And that's the level we want to get to. So, and another thing I do, the affirmations. So I say, I am $1 million trader. I only see winning trades. I only take winning trades. And I get myself in the zone before I come on and trade. So I just want to do one calculation here. And I didn't get up in the night, otherwise I'd be further ahead for today. Not being lazy, there are other things going on. So that that's not right. Start again. Oh, maybe it is. Why did that say paid out at 33? Take that off. So that was, that's right, 850 plus 15,725 gives about $24 on that. So I have a certain amount I aim for, and I compound, and then I take bigger trades depending on what I'm doing. So I'm just going to finish there. I'm going to look at the chat. Oh, look at that burst on through. So right to be cautious. This is why you need to do your sort of bigger analysis. And if you see it stalling, if you see the probes, like we saw the probes were going down, but they were getting shallower, that tells you the momentum is lost. The candles tell the story, and there are no orders in those probes. There's no orders in the wicks. So if you also, we see price stalling out in the middle of our, it hasn't hit that midline on the Bollinger Bands, or it's a put score of 2, it's sidling along. That tells you you're not going to get such a big, you know, we like to see it drop and drown with big, you know, we like nice, you know, if we'd taken that was the, look at that on the 30 at 147. That's the 35 candle, 185. And I took that drop, I think. 185, I took that drop. And then it's gone up now, so it's pushing up. So that's me done for this session. Look at the chat. 2-2 on the session. Oh, this is why Les was saying do that 15, the 15-minute, wasn't he? The 3 candle rule. Yes, I think it's a bit tougher when you see price moving. It's the way it's been moving here, isn't it? You've got to give it more time. You know, hopefully you're following what Les says for 4 minutes in at 192 for 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready to get back with real money again, Sarah. So I've got to get in this 3-minute, 4-minute mindset, and I'm playing with play money. So I could see what I've done and where it went wrong. So I've had my learning, and I'm happy with that.
Yes, I think so. What time was that trade? Sorry, remind me which time it was.
Jumped in on a couple of them, and I thought I'd missed it, so I went in for because I'd play with play money. I go for a second trade, so I got in at 11:35 with a put at 192.
Did it give us a put on HourGlass?
I think so, yes. And then it went up again from there. So I went with another trade higher on, and that didn't.
Yes, it's still pushing up now, isn't it? So yes. I mean, I was happy with the decision I made, but actually I was quite lucky as well, I think, wasn't I? But I think that shows you the precision on the entry, and I saw it had come off that. It had come off that daily when I took it. If I come down to the 1 minute. And get a little 1 of them. So 137, 135. So I got in there off that white daily.
Yeah.
And that these are 1 minute candles. So there's the move down. I was in for 3 minutes. But once you get, there's that doji on the 1 minute, then it's a strong bottom, a solid bottom, no wick in it.
Yeah.
So that's a strong candle going up. And then it went back up to that 206. That's on the 40 minutes. This is the new candle. So that, so you got in for the put. So if you were late in on that put and not thinking about that daily line, which was my sniper shot, right? Mm-hmm. Then I can see why you lost it, because price has been jiggling along, and you know, it's not really giving us a fast moves and big moves. So on the 40, we then had, this is on the 1 minute, remember, it pushed up, and I don't know what CashTrap said because it still looks a bit glitchy to me. But at 41, so that did push up to way up to 205, which isn't one of my previous levels. I've got previous levels high at 209, 210, but there's a 3 minute move down, 43, 44. One might have been a bit stressed, and there's the 5 minute. So yes, you would have lost that on a 4 minute. But at 30 minute, if you'd taken a 15-minute call, you would have won that trade easily.
Yeah.
Off a 3 minute, the 3 candle rule. Mm-hmm. So the 3 candle rule, it gave us 2 candles, didn't it? 2 candles down. And there's 3 up, 3 5-minute candles up. So you would have cleared that one on the 15 minute, but not on the 5. And where are we now? 50 minutes. So there's a doji on the 40. It's so I don't tend to take trades at this time. 184, back at that level. I can't understand why this currency strength is still stuck 53 to 81 and the timing stuck. So it doesn't look quite that it's working quite right, does it?
No, and again, it's still part of the learning though, is, you know, the stuff's there, but you've got to question it in your own mind.
Oh, most definitely,
get
because
straight in
the
your own
game
mind.
plan is we want to be putting bigger order sizes on.
Absolutely.
So when you press the button, you can and you can lose one 500 one out of 500 a week, or whatever level one's doing it. But you know, one would expect that, but not lose 5 of them. You know, so
Yeah.
you need to have. It's like riding a horse, isn't it? The instructor can tell you everything you need to do, but sometimes the horse will act a bit strange, and you've got to think, oh, I know this horse and I know what's happening, because it's like if UJ was a horse, I know what the horse is doing, or
Yeah.
learning what the horse is doing. So, you know, I think, well, actually with this one, it's got a very soft mouth. I don't need to yank the bit too much or whatever, you know, it's years since I've done any riding.
Yeah,
but
it's a good analogy though. It is a good analogy.
Yeah,
you know,
so
most of the time it'll go like that, but you've always got to be aware that it won't always be like that.
Yes, so yes, because the market's the market. So when I said to people, I'm just trading UJ, I know that the numbers have dropped on my sessions, but I still trade it at 60%. But today I've done 2 trades at 85%. I didn't get up in the night. I did get up in the night and I was awake at 10 to 2, but I thought, Sarah, because I like to look at what the candle does. And I thought, well, I think you know, and it did do what I thought it would, but I didn't come and take a trade. I rather wish I had. But I think it's all right. Don't worry about it, you know, because I'm tired and I've got other appointments and I've got so much else on. I don't need to snatch at this. That's what I say to myself. And I know there's that fear of missing out. I know people have dropped off my sessions because I say I just do UJ, but I'm getting so comfortable with it. And it's just that psychology of feeling you're in the driving seat. Now, what is weird is that HourGlass, they're doing updates or whatever they're doing, so it's glitching. I still like my HourGlass. I still like the instructor there, because I can do my analysis, and sometimes, you know, I can say to myself, well, I'm not going to take what that one was, but I do like it. It is my reference point.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's, you know, so I can trade without it, but I prefer not to. I mean, I can sort of trade without it, but I prefer not to. And it's still stuck a bit, and I can see it's a bit weird. You know, it hasn't given us the latest score. But, you know, but we've managed. And I think that's another reason why it's only you and me on today, but there are probably people watching on Facebook. But, you know, I've had a good session, and that also sets you up for your next session, doesn't it? You know, cool, calm, collected, measured, talk out loud, don't rush it. Because I've done it myself. And if they say, if you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. When I've snatched at trades and thought, oh, that'll do, it's paid me or slapped me accordingly. You see what I mean?
Me too.
So, you know, these are our consultancy fees. We're here to do a job. We are taking home our pay out of the market. And I'd rather sit here and do 2 good trades that make me feel good. Now I go off to get a cup of coffee and know, yes, Sarah, you did that really well. Well, I feel I did. So rather than snatch at that 15-minute one, then get stressed and then possibly have lost it with people watching. And that's how you improve your learning and hone the skill, isn't it?
But you know, it's one of the more important learnings. Is reading the charts is one thing, but learning not to. And I've made loads of mistakes like that: panicking, looking at something, rushing in, and repenting at leisure, as they say.
Yeah.
You know, wishing I hadn't done it, but I've done it. You know.
Now, interestingly,
so I'm going to learn.
I'm on the 5. I'm back on the 5-minute, 35. 40, 45, it has respected that daily. It is still in a downward trend on the 5-minute. It did wick up to the 208. So it respected the daily, and it is still moving down, even though you know, we haven't got a hidden bear anymore. We haven't got hidden bull, but it did respect that daily. So again, if we had been in it for 5 minutes, and remember, we've also got to be more careful because the rollover rules have changed. That's another reason. So normally I could have got only on that 30 and said to myself, well, I don't know what I can't remember now where we were with CashTrap. So that's probably the wrong one to talk about. If I got in on the 30 for a call, I would have actually been okay. Then if I wanted to take one on the 40 for the sake of our argument, there's the 45. So if I hadn't got in with precision, I would have been, say, CashTrap had called out 200 or 199 or something. we need that rollover, and then we're down to 30%. So you've got to be confident enough to get that second rollover and know that you've haven't over leveraged anymore, because you've only put like 1% on your account or whatever, and that you've read the analysis, so you're happy to see those wicks off it, press the button for the second rollover and get the drop down. That, you know, that it's that kind of confidence, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the kind of reading one needs to do, so that once you're committed to the trade, you've got the confidence on the first rollover, which we're used to doing anyway, but now you've got more confidence because you're only going to get the 30% time on the second rollover. But there have been times when I've just thought, well, I'll leave that trade, I'll take the loss and I'll try again another time. But this is learning how not to lose the money and to still win the trade. And as Matty says, often the trades that give you the most problems obviously give you the bigger payouts, because you'd have to manage this situation and be confident to press the button for the second time on the second rollover, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, and again, I just try and get on as many lessons sessions as possible. If I look here, I can see the momentum there on the stochastic RSI, relative strength index, has now crossing down. The gap is there, you know, that move is there. So although we've only got a midline at 50% on our divergence, so maybe that move isn't going to be as strong, because that's telling you it's still in the middle there. It's not one thing or the other. So it could be bumbling along here. That's the kind of reading that we do. These lines are really useful.
Yeah.
Those lines are very useful, and obviously I find trading off these lines very, very useful. The Kembry-Moe's lines, and Taylor Marks draws lines, but he says he doesn't have to now because he can read how the market's moving anyway. But obviously we like to draw lines, and I find these lines have been amazing. So I have every confidence when I see a white daily line or a yellow hourly. Okay, right. So I shall stop the record.